guys, welcome to Andrea Loves Everybody. This is a podcast about love and relationships. And today I have with me Adam Connie.
I don't have either of those things.
Love or relationships. Not anymore. Adam, I like to start this podcast off by telling everybody something that I love about them.
Okay. This is
When I first met Adam, we were at the Madhouse in San Diego, and he was flirting with my boyfriend.
No, it was.
It was getting very personal. And,
Well, if they've seen your boyfriend, they'd understand.
Yeah, he's very cute. I get it. I'm a big fan. But something that I thought was interesting that I noticed about you right away is you kind of have snails as your totem. And
Yep.
you're just like a friendly, loving kind of dude. But can you explain what the snails are about real quick?
Yeah. Basically, the snail is my spirit animal. Way of the snails is two things. Always know, never worry about the speed of your journey, and always know that you have what you need with you. And so it's like over the course of in the past 5 years, I've come to understand that. Like I just kind of became not obsessed, but slightly obsessed with snails. And I was like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? And that was just God showing me my spirit animal. Like my spirit animal was revealed to me. Like I was being over the course of 2 years, because I keep my notebooks. In the 2015 notebook, I just wrote down Way of the Snails ? And then 2017, I understood the Way of the Snail. So now it's just living the Way of the Snail.
That's really cool.
Now it's like, yeah, it's pretty much, I get it a lot. What's with the snails? I get that a lot, but it's I didn't get lion or tiger or bear as my spirit animal or eagle. I got snail.
That's cute. I think whenever you ever do that thing where someone's like you go to a card read, like there's always someone that's like trying to tell you what your spirit animal is.
Yeah.
And then you get a lame one, you're like, that's some bullshit. Salmon is my fucking.
Well, isn't that the one that swims upstream?
I mean, but fuck that fish, though. It's not a salmon. I mean, I will eat them. I will eat all the salmon. They are my favorite food, but it's not my spirit animal, and y'all suck. Like in the Native American, they have there's like a Native American astrology. This is my theory about astrology. I think that people believe in astrology if they get a cool one.
Yes.
So like for me,
like if I was I'm a Taurus. If I was a Cancer, I wouldn't even what? What's horoscopes? I would never read my horoscope.
Right. But like I'm a Leo dragon. Like I have the coolest astrology symbols. But then
Taurus.
In Native American, I'm a snail. Or sorry,
Really?
in Native American, I'm a salmon. It's
that's
like,
what it
bitch,
is?
go fuck yourself. This is some bullshit. My lion and my dragon will eat your salmon. This is bullshit. I don't like this.
Dragon could cook and eat the salmon.
Stupid. Yeah.
A dragon could cook and eat. Are all dragons fire breathing?
I don't know. I just think they're imaginary. I think it doesn't matter. I feel like.
Well, Adam, you just got shut down.
I mean, are unicorns all white? I don't know. Have you ever? They're not real. It doesn't matter.
They poop rainbows.
I mean, as do I. Mostly glitter. It's fine.
All girls do.
All girls, yeah. So this podcast is a podcast about love and relationships.
And I'm looking for both.
When was the last time you were in love?
Oh. That was not one of the pre-approved questions.
Yeah, this is why I don't ask you all of them.
Oh my God, that hurts so bad. Jesus Christ Almighty. The last time I was in love, I had like severe puppy love in 2015.
Ooh, for who?
I can't say her name. She's not a public figure. I don't want to say her name because.
Well, don't say her name. But
no, I met somebody. We had like that summer fling.
Okay.
And it was crazy. And honestly, I like then the Adam that was then would probably was like, oh, this is love. This is what it was. But looking back, I'm like, I don't think that was. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
So now I got to call my sponsor.
Were you sober at the time?
No. That was like one of the huge plays into that relationship.
Did she?
She was huge on wine. I was huge on whiskey. Like we went to.
Oh, that was part of the relationship.
Yeah.
That was part of the ritual of the relationship.
We were both drunk a lot. Okay. And like I remember one time she was like, I want to get some wine. So we stopped on the way to her place to get some wine, and she grabbed a bottle. And then she looks at me and goes, now get one for you. I was like,
and you're
I love this lady.
Yeah. And then you're like, I love this lady. Instead of like, we both have a problem. This is maybe not what it should be.
Yeah, it would be a year later before I was like, it would be a year after that before I was like, all right, maybe I shouldn't. But yeah, I remember our relationship was heavily fueled by alcohol. So I like to think like romantically, like with all the failed relationships in my past, I just like to be, hey, it's fun to pretend that I've never been in love. But I'm the type of guy who fell in love a lot, like just like not easily, but a little bit harder than
like
easily.
you get kind of starry-eyed about people, and then you're like, this girl though.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what was I doing?
Yeah, like if a chick likes more than 2 of my pictures on Instagram on the same day, I love her. Yeah.
Dude, bro. 2 Instagram pics? This girl is into me, yo.
Exactly.
I don't know why I made you such a bro.
I'm a bro. No, I'm not.
Bruh. No. This girl, though, bruh.
I have some of my friends, we're all, like you, we hate it when black guys get called thugs in the media.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's funny because, and then like we were just all sitting around shooting the shit about it. I was like, yeah, but would you rather we be called bros? And they're like, no, thug is fine.
Personally, I get offended when anyone brings up pumpkin spice. It's like, it's just not a lifestyle for all of us.
Okay, I can see that, but hey.
And it's too warm in California for my Ugg boots, so I just really don't feel like this applies to me.
Ugg boots and yoga pants. San Diego.
Okay,
that's
yoga pants all day. I could do
really?
yoga pants all day.
I hate yoga pants.
They're so comfy.
No, I mean, I hate seeing them on people. I have yet to try a pair on. One day I will.
Why?
They're just lazy. They're the flip-flops. They're flip-flops for your ass. Like, that's all yoga pants are.
They're freeing.
Yeah, no, they're just lazy. Get dressed. Put on some style. Put on some style.
Okay. Shorts.
Okay, yeah, but look at the shorts. You think I'm going to run into anybody with these on?
Well, no, because clearly you've been painting houses in them.
No, I bought them like this.
Oh, Jesus. Boo.
Ross. Shout out to Ross. Dress for less. Yes for less.
Don't. Okay.
$14.99.
We could talk about this off air, but maybe this is part of the
After you asked me that last question, I'm going to avoid all questions for the rest. This is a
podcast about love. Let's talk about pants. No, so you're in love. Before that, you were married.
Yeah, that was 2 years prior to that. I got my ex-wife left me.
How did you meet that person?
My ex-wife?
Yeah,
we met in Dallas at a coffee shop.
Like you just met her?
Okay, I saw her and I went up to her and I talked to her and okay, fine. All right.
Was
Take
she
down the
wearing
shields
yoga
at him.
pants?
No, she wasn't. She was wearing jeans and Chucks. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I saw her and I was attracted to her and I went up and chit-chatted with her. And then this dude came and chatted with her. So I was like, okay, well, this one isn't interested in me. And then there was a mirror in there. And I was walking towards the mirror and she was behind me and I saw her look at my ass. So I was like, oh, go back. She's interested.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
I made fun of her because it was December of 2005, I think. Yeah, December 2005. And she was filling out a stack load of Christmas cards. And I was just.
Oh.
And I was made fun of her for
She was filling out a stack load. I thought you were saying she was stacked.
No.
I was like, what?
She was sending these Christmas cards. Yeah. So that's what happened then.
That was, let's see, I was a junior in high school. Cool.
Yeah, I don't longer trust you. Like, this is, like
I'm just fucking with you.
I'm talking about the questions. I didn't expect the depth of questions. I expected
this podcast.
I know, and I listened to the podcast, and I love. You know why I started listening to the podcast? Like when I met you out with, and I was hanging out with your boyfriend, and he introduced me. I was like, no way, this is her. I don't know how I came across your podcast.
Okay,
but I started listening to it because it was like, Andrea loves everybody. And I was like, no fucking way does anybody love everybody. And I started listening to your podcast. I'm like, she does. This is so beautiful, And I love your podcast, but your questions are hurting me.
I'm so sorry. So
So she keeps asking.
You start talking to this girl. She's filling out Christmas cards. You're giving her a hard time. What attracted you about her?
I'm not. In hindsight, she was attractive.
Physically
attractive.
Okay.
And geez, what? And she liked me.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like two the check.
That
things
helps.
to check off.
Is like, okay, she's into me.
Yeah. And I was lonely. So I think that added it up too.
But did you, even when because you started dating her when you were dating her, were there any red flags that you ignored where you're like, this isn't going to be good? Who cares?
I did. One, after I got a number. Okay, so after I got a number, I got her and my son in the same, 3 weeks.
Oh, you got custody of your son.
Yeah. So after from his mom.
How did that happen?
Court.
Was she doing things that
she wasn't healthy.
Okay.
And
it's hard.
A situation arose where I had to go get him.
Okay.
And he became mine.
How old was he?
He was 2005. He was just turning 7.
Okay, so he's still a baby boy.
Yeah.
So he's your responsibility.
Right. So right after I got my ex-wife's phone number, that happened, and I totally forgot about her. And me and my buddy are driving to Tennessee to get him, from Dallas to Tennessee to get him. And I'm like, we're just sitting there. I go, oh shit, I got this girl's number. And I totally forgot to call her. It'd been like 4 days.
Yeah.
And so I called her. I left a message like, hey, blah, blah. We met at the coffee shop. I'm going to Tennessee to pick up my son. I'll call you when I get back. And I just left a message like that.
Super chill.
Yeah.
Super chill intro.
I did. But to answer your question, were there red flags? Yeah, there were a lot of red flags that I just ignored. Like one time she got super jealous. Like, if someone enters a room right now, if someone were to enter this room, you and I would both look at that person.
Yeah.
Okay. And just greet them with a smile or a head nod, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
One time we were at a restaurant, a sub shop they don't get restaurant status, right? We were at a sub
Jimmy
shop.
John's? You were at Jimmy John's.
No, it was a nice, I would say Jimmy John's. It wasn't fast food, but it wasn't a restaurant. And it was a little quaint place. And this person this black chick walks into the door. My ex-wife is white. This black chick walks in the door, and I look at her and I nod. And that was it.
That's respect, though.
Yeah. That was, hey, what's up? It's like I looked at her and I nod, and that was it. Like I caught shit for the rest of the day. Like, who is she? Who is she? And I was like, okay, this is jealousy.
Okay, that's jealousy in a way that is
aggressive.
Well, not logical.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, I don't know her. She looked in, I looked at her. She walked in, I looked at her. That was it.
Acknowledged her as a person.
And then there was one time we went out. Riddled. Our relationship was riddled prior to marriage. Our relationship was riddled with red flags, and but this other time we went out to a gathering of her friends. Like she left me sitting by myself for a very long time, and I was like, all right, here it is. So I just watched TV, and then later that night she was like, I trust you now. You sat there the whole time. You didn't look at another woman. I don't. I don't look at other women. But that was it didn't occur to me. I wasn't mature enough. She married and divorced a man child. I wasn't mature enough to pick up on it.
How old were you?
When she and I met, I was 31. Somewhere around 31.
So you're like my age.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I was way less mature than you are. Okay. I mean, I'm talking man child, 13 years old emotionally. I was, what do they call that? Arrested development.
Why were you like that?
Mental health, I had an event at 13. It's in my adolescence, and I never left it. I never left my adolescence.
Was it something traumatic?
It was just a bad childhood coupled with, or added, piled onto just a worse childhood. So I had a very unstable childhood. I had an abusive father. And so I went through life looking for people to please.
You wanted acceptance from anyone that would give it to you.
Exactly.
And you kind of were at a point where
I even joined the Klan for a week. It was just anybody who would accept me. I was down with them regardless of what they thought of me.
Real Black Klansman moment. That
I would have outed that guy. That's how deep I was.
Damn, dude, come on. But so I think that not everyone understands that when you do have a childhood where you don't feel like you're getting love and acceptance from a parent figure,
it sticks with you.
It does, because then you feel like love isn't something that you deserve.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And so even when you're getting it. When you're getting any sort of attention, you're like, "Oh, this is what love is."
The most repulsive thing a woman
attention.
Oh, the most repulsive thing a woman could do is like me, give me that attention. And that would repulse
because then you're like,
me.
I don't deserve. I was like, you must be stupid to love me because I'm not worth it.
Yeah. That's then. It's not now, but that's then. This is looking back and after, fixing what was broken. That's what I came to realize.
So you're dating this gal. How old was she?
A year younger.
Okay. So you guys are about the same age. But I mean, that is also weird, is if I bring my boo to a ladies' gathering.
No, it wasn't ladies. It was like work friends. It was like mixed
Work
gathering.
friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we were at a public bar.
But if I bring my boo to a work gathering, I trust A, that he's not going to hit on other women, but B, that he's going to be social with people in a non-sexual way and like be a part of this gathering.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she wanted you to remain separate and she wanted you to kind of be beholden to her and only interacting with her.
What she wanted was to see whether or not I'd look at other women. She was very insecure.
That's so much
Yeah,
work.
it's like I recognize now what smells are. Like I can smell insecurity.
Was she someone that in her past had been cheated on a lot?
I don't know.
You never talked about it?
No, we did talk about it past, but after she left me, a lot of stuff, like I started replaying stuff, like none of that makes sense. And I had to accept the fact that I never knew that person. I never knew who she was. Because I would remember things, like I remembered she cheated on me.
Yeah.
I was like, and I realized, I won't say remembered, I realized, like, holy shit, like, did she cheated on me right then? Like, I was too stupid to see it.
No, I had that with a person too, where I'm like, wait, that explains this.
Yeah.
And that's why this person stopped talking and hanging out with us, because he was fucking sending her messages and it was weird and she got weirded out. Like, yeah, I totally had that too. Like after the relationship, you kind of assess things that you're like, moments that stuck out as like, that was odd. It's fine. Yeah. And now you're like, oh, now that I know more about this person that I've been with for years, now that I see them in a whole different light, the lens through which I understand these experiences means that I see the truth of what happened.
Yeah. So now, like, the only things I know about her is that she had my 2 daughters. Like, that's all I know about her.
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's how relationships plan out. It's how relationships work when you aren't in it. I wasn't there. Like, I was, but I was so people pleasing. I wasn't myself.
You didn't have any ownership over who you were.
Now, what do I do now? Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy?
What do I need? What hoops do I need to jump through?
Yeah, like one thing I'm looking forward to my next relationship, because this is my next relationship will be my first relationship ever healthy minded, right?
Completely sober. You've had therapy.
I've had tons of therapy. Sober, on my own. Like the one thing I'm looking forward to is for her to have a bad day and me to borderline not care. Like if she wants to talk about it, I'll listen, but it's not her bad day is not going to become my bad day. You know? And if I see her handling her bad day wrong, I will remove myself from the equation so I can keep having a good day.
Well, I think that is something to learn, is that, and this is something that I talk about a lot, is no one else is responsible for your happiness but you, especially not your partner. Your partner is not responsible for your happiness.
Right. Like you owe them to be happy. If you really love that person, you will be happy.
Well, no. I mean, what I'm saying is like, if you're having a bad day because stuff at work isn't right, you're feeling insecure, you don't feel good, it's not on your partner to make you feel
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like,
they're not there. They can listen and they can care about you, but they're not there to fix your life for you.
Exactly.
That's your responsibility. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I think when I was younger, there's this weird idea, or there's this weird lie that like, oh, well, if you're with someone, your problems are the same problems and they'll take care of it. And especially with women, is we're taught that men are here to fix things for us, and you're not, and you can't.
And that's
too much to put on another person.
Growing up, I thought that's what relationships were. All the relationships I had exposure to, whether it real life or TV or movies, were what I like to refer to as the beach scene from Rocky 3. Rocky's broken and Adrian comes and fixes him and talks to him and fixes him.
Yeah.
And to me, that was all relationships were. The man is broken and the woman fixes him. So like whenever I was in a relationship, I was like, I was clearly broken. If I knew anything about me, which I knew very little about myself, I knew I was broken and I knew I was hurting. And I was like, you're going to fix me now.
Yeah.
And I never got fixed until I fixed me.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not another person's responsibility to help you out of the darkness.
No.
That's your responsibility.
No, it's a mixed bag. Like, it's not their responsibility by no means, but they can. Like, and that was one of the things, like,
They can tag you. You can tag them in.
Like they can help. Like, hey, do you know what's going on? Right.
Yeah.
But it's not.
You're the leader.
Don't
in
be
that
the sole
journey.
weight. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
Like if I'm in a relationship with someone and she's having a hard time, what do you need me to do? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go sit over there until you figure out what it is you need me to do. Even if it's just hold you. Like that's one of the. It's one of the things. But you have to be in charge of you.
I had a really bad couple days the other day, and my boyfriend was he's cute.
He's a homo.
Yeah, super a lot.
Okay.
Homunculus.
I'll explain why.
Giant man.
I'm still kind of mad at him.
I was just like, he was like, oh, what can I do to fix this? And I was like, you can't. Like, I'm upset, and it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's not your fault. There's nothing you can do about it. And my sadness isn't yours.
And that's awesome because you were able to teach him something about the relationship.
But I know that he loves me, and I know that if there's anything he could do, he would do it.
But it wasn't a reprimand. No. It was just like a boundary. A boundary. I've never had.
But I don't want him to walk around in the world thinking that because I'm sad,
he can't be happy.
He can't be happy.
That you just described every relationship that I've ever had.
Yeah,
it's like I couldn't. They determined my happiness, whether I let them or I would be happy, and they wouldn't know why. So I had to be unhappy because they weren't associated to that happiness.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like I surrounded myself with all these people, even up until recently. I realized I did it again, and I had to cut that.
With a relationship?
The relationship with the church I used to attend.
Interesting.
Like I was at that church looking for these people's approval, and I realized, and something happened. I was like, "Fuck, I did it again." And then I was like, "Hey, let's just not come here anymore ever." And I stopped going.
That's interesting. I think a lot of people, church. The way that church functions is it's very much a family outside of your family. So that's the way that it's pitched to you, and that's the way that you kind of buy into it. Yep. And that is...
But you have to follow these rules. You have to think these things.
Well, and the issue that I have with churches is that I grew up Catholic, and so the church itself as an institution makes some bad choices, but also priests individually can make better or worse choices and teach people better or worse things based on just their flawed human nature. Mm-hmm. So when I was a kid, we had a priest who was very boring and old, and he would pretty much go buy the book on whatever the little packet was, the stories that they would send him every month. He would just tell that story, and it was fine. It was fine. It was chill. It was whatever. But then we got this new priest, and his sermons were less thoughtful because he was an alcoholic and more ranty. And then he'd be like, the atheists don't get this, and the Presbyterians, they believe, but they don't believe like the Catholics believe. And it got to a point where in order for him to spread, quote unquote, the message of God, he spent most of his time tearing down the beliefs of other people.
And that's one of the many reasons I don't go back. Like there was one reason I left church. Like I'm a non-church Christian now. Like I have a church that's in Irving, Texas. I listen to the podcast every Monday. Okay. On average every Monday, but I definitely listen to it by Thursday.
Yeah.
And I read my Bible every day. I pray every day. But I do that now more so God doesn't send me back to church. I'm very happy with my relationship with God, happier than I've ever been. But the church I used to attend, it was like, I heard more about how horrible man is than I did about how awesome Christ is. Yeah. And that's you got to flip that around. Yeah. And the church I listen to in Irving, Texas, it is called Irving Bible Church, and it's like I don't hear about how bad people are. I hear about how great Christ is, and that's my three rules. It's like Christ, who was he? What did he do? How can I be more like him? If you're talking about any of those three things, then you're not spreading the gospel.
Well, people are
grandstanding.
Bad.
You're being self-righteous, huh?
People are bad. Get over it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm totally. But I don't want them to be. People are bad and horrible, and what I try to do is keep them from being that around me.
The thing about people is, we're all just trying really hard to be good.
Are we?
I mean, people are.
I think some.
But some people are trying hard to be good, or people are trying just to live, and they're not even in a place where they're considering their own actions. And so, like, I think to be angry at people, most of the ways, I believe very strongly that most of the ways people hurt you have nothing to do with you.
No.
They have everything to do with just that person's dealing with a thing, and it's not about me.
Yeah, no, I quietly walked away from the church.
Yeah.
When I didn't say you guys did this. No, I didn't, I accept people. My buddy, Ryan Shores, he gets on me because if something happens, I'll just walk away. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't want to be around this anymore. There's no, hey, you did this, you did that. Because I understand what you just said. People do things based on who people are.
Right.
So,
and you understand the reasons that they got from A to B.
Exactly.
You're just like, I don't agree with this choice.
That person's a dangerous, hurtful person. And if I just step out of their way, I won't get hit anymore. So that's
yeah, you just leave the conflict.
Yeah. That's how I don't know, like that's me now, as opposed to then I was like, what do I need to do to change? What do I need to do to be better? Now it's just I walk away, and I'm curious to see what I will do at the conflict of my next relationship.
Yeah.
Will I just walk away, or will I say, hey, we have a problem. Let's work through it.
Every relationship is a balancing act of leave or stay, and I think it is. You are constantly weighing what is the value of this relationship to the detriment of this relationship.
Yeah.
Can I trust in this person? And can I trust that this person, for the most part, loves, understands, accepts me, and is here to bring more joy than darkness to my life?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And that's the balancing act of any human relationship is like, is my time with you mostly joyful? Is my time with you mostly good? Is my time with you mostly better for me than worse for me? Mm-hmm. But if you can't answer that question with someone, that's not a good relationship.
No, not at all. And that's, I mean, I've been dating since February 15th. And I have yet to be on a second date because like I consider those things. I'm like, I'm not having fun right now. Like if we're going to be two people together, I would like to have some fun.
Well, yeah.
And but see, that's not the old me. Like that's not how I used to think.
Yeah.
It's like, does she like me yet? 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 Like that was my motivation, being liked. And now I don't care whether or not I'm liked. Well, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. I don't care that I'm liked, but I want to be liked in a relationship.
You should be liked in a relationship for sure.
I know.
You should be liked in a friendship.
I know. Like I have great friends who like me. I like them back. We disagree. We argue, but we have fun. You know, like that's great. Like that's how I look at it.
Should be fun because life is very short and we will die. So like, why do you want to spend it being upset and unhappy for no reason? That's the only thing I don't really understand is just like everything we do.
Everything I do. Fun. I do it for.
I have to go.
My podcast.
Bye. Okay, bye.
Look, my podcast listeners know that I sing songs. I just go into song.
I totally do that on cult podcasts all the time.
I do it all the time.
It's really fun. But I do think that something we forget is that we're gonna die. Like people don't forget it. Like they think about it. But death is this thing that we try not to look directly in the eyes. It's like Medusa. Like you want to look around it. It's there in front of you every day when you wake up. Like for me, I think about death every day.
Wow.
I do. Yeah. And I have most of my life. Like since I was very young, I was just like, I could die today. And you just have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And it's something that it can be really bad because then you're like, oh, I could die today and I'm not super happy about the way things turned out. But it can also be really good because it's like, do I have to do a lot of the rules that we've decided are rules about the way you should live your life and the relationships you should have. And if you've been together this many years, you should get married. And those are the rules and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no more rules. No more rules.
Yeah, rules are really dumb.
Yeah.
Because rules can keep you from happiness and the rules aren't real.
And the rules sped up. They exacerbated my downfall. They sped up my downfall. Trying to abide by the rules. Before I met my ex-wife, I was a bike messenger in Dallas, Texas. I was living on the fringe, just pretty much I had my life. And I no car, just a bike. And then I met her and I got my son and I was like, okay, I got to be an adult now. I got to not be that. I got to do that. And I went into banking. Then I was like, okay, now I got a girlfriend now. And then somebody was like, well, are you guys getting married? I was like, yeah, we're going to do that. That's the next thing, right? Okay, so I'm going to get married. And then
you're checking boxes off your list because it's who you feel you should be, not who you are.
Right. Now it's just like, what do I? My thing right now is just being a contributing member of society, like a functioning member of society.
Are you a part of this world, and are you making it better and not worse?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, do no harm but take no shit. Like, it's just that's how I go through.
That's a good
Like,
rule.
if I can do what I want to do and not hurt anybody, then I'm going to keep doing it. But if something I want to do hurts people, then I have to stop doing it. I can't do it anymore.
Do you think that you actually loved your ex-wife? Do you feel like you loved her?
Yeah. All I wanted. The divorce came out of nowhere.
Really?
Yeah, for
How
me.
long
Like,
were
I
you
knew
guys together?
just under 5 years. I
Okay.
knew she wasn't happy.
And you had 2 daughters.
Yep.
Okay.
I knew, and also my son.
And your son.
Yep. All 5 of us were under one roof, and I knew she wasn't happy. We were struggling. She had just moved us to San Diego for her job, then lost that job, but wanted to stay in San Diego. So I knew it, and all I wanted to do was make her happy. And then
You felt responsible for her happiness.
yeah. I wanted to save our marriage. Like, I look back and I'm like, she wasn't working towards it. And then one time we had one of those post-divorce coffees or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I removed myself from you months before I actually left, like women do. Like,
That's true.
Like, women break up, like guys don't even see it coming. They break up on average 2 weeks before a breakup. Marriages, they probably end 6 months to a year before the divorce is requested. That's, no study, just that's what my opinion is. But what was I saying?
Men?
Go ahead. No, men want out and out. Men want out and are out.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Here's the thing, and this is how I feel about it, is I thought for a long time that I broke up with the men that I dated.
I got it.
But what happened was they were breaking up with me slowly, and they were too pussy to pull the trigger.
See, I've never been
I'm always the one that says it
over the course,
but I'm not the one that's texting other women, that's not taking, not talking to me, not being a part of the, at some point I'm like, am I having a relationship with you anymore? Like, it doesn't feel like we're in a relationship anymore.
Okay, I understand that. That's not who I am. Of all the relationships I've had, I've ended maybe 3 of them. And I remember one time my buddy Akil and I were just hanging out. And he was like, Adam, what's the matter? And I was like, dude, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore with this chick. And he was like, oh, sucks to be you. And then the next day, I was a big, bright smile. He goes, what happened? I go, I broke up with her. He goes, right away? I was like, yeah, got out of that one. And I just did. I went home and I was like, hey, I'm not happy in this. And like I said, I've broken up 3 times. But what was your question? That's not, what was your question? It was...
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world of your
ADD's
brain.
a real bitch, guys.
Yeah.
My question was, did you feel like you were in love with your wife?
Oh, yeah. And even in the end, I just wanted to, I remember how much her leaving me hurt. I just wanted to fix it. Like, divorce wasn't an option. Like, it caught me off. Like, I was like, wait, we could do that? Like, I knew it existed.
But you didn't ever see it as something that might be a problem.
It was never one of those things I was like, I'm just going to divorce her. No, it wasn't.
Did you feel out of love with her when that happened?
Do I feel out of love when it happened? No, I think I would be out of love with her 1.5 years after it happened. Like, I was still sending her like things I produced, things I did, and looking for her approval. And then after I did,
did you ever feel like you could ever get her approval?
After I did, either I Am God or I wrote a piece or wrote a story that got posted. I shot it to her, and my inside voice was just like, "What are you doing, dude? She's never gonna like you. Just stop trying."
Yeah.
And because our divorce had been final for 6 months, so that means we had been divorced for that means she left me a year prior. So, and it was just move on, and then eventually I did. I think my sobering, I finally got over it. Maybe I think it was 2017. Yeah, I think it was.
So after you got divorced with her, you were homeless.
Shortly after that, yeah, I started drinking, like you do.
How old was your son at the time?
I think he was. So it was 2013. So he was about 15.
So your son's 15. You have 2 daughters. They're living with your wife. Mm-hmm. She's staying in San Diego still. Are you able to spend time with your daughters?
Yeah, I would see them. And yeah, I would see them.
So you started drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then is that part of what led to you not being able to have a place to live?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Like the drinking would help me cover up. Like drinking was like my security blanket. Like I would just get under the blanket and nothing's happening outside of this blanket while everything is. Like I didn't have a job and drinking, I wasn't looking for one and I wasn't taking care. I mean, there are things you can do in this world to not have a job. I wasn't doing those things.
Did your son know what was happening with you?
Yeah.
Did he understand?
Yeah.
Did he?
We had the talk like not too long ago. We just chatted it out and he like knew I was a better person. But he was confused because I wasn't the drunk that everybody thinks drunk should be.
Right, you weren't abusive.
I wasn't abusive. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't there, and I had to explain to him. I was like, hey, remember that time it rained? We lived like 2 blocks from the school before we stopped living indoors. I was like, remember that time it was raining and you came and woke me up and asked me for a ride to school, and I said no. And he's like, yeah. I was like, that's the dad I was. I just wasn't there for you.
Yeah, when my dad was drinking, I was late. Anytime he would have to, if my mom left early and he would have to get me dressed or he would have to get me to school, I knew I couldn't count on him. At 5 years old, I knew I can't count on dad to be up in time. I can't count on dad to get me to school in time. Like I knew that he wasn't reliable. Yep. He couldn't braid my hair. He couldn't figure out, he wasn't.
And that's what I was.
Dad.
That's what I was. I was not reliable. I could have, without the drinking, I could have stopped so many things. I could have done so much better, but I was drinking, and drinking was my way of not doing those things, hiding from life.
Well, drinking and drugs, and this is something my mom told me.
Oh, and weed too. Yeah, weed was there.
Yeah.
I stopped.
Sometimes cocaine.
Never cocaine. I grew up afraid of that drug.
It's very scary.
I don't know why. I don't know.
It can kill you. It's a super. If you it's
terrifying. That's why. Lynn Bias. When I was a kid, I grew up in Boston, and the Celtics had drafted Lynn Bias, and they first round draft pick, blah blah Celtics, and then he goes home and ODs on coke, and it was his first time doing it. So I was like, I will never do that drug.
Ah shit. Yeah, I think my biggest issue with drugs and alcohol, and this is like a rule that I have for myself, is I never drink when I'm sad. I never smoke when I'm sad.
And that's I always knew not to do that. I always knew not to drink when I was going through something like my entire life. But I never. That was always just my thing. That was always my I don't drink if I have a problem. And then my ex-wife leaves me, and I'm like, now's the perfect time to drink. This is the time. I virtually abandoned me. I was alone for the first time in my life, 8 years. And then I was in a state where I was removed from my family. And so I was by myself, and I had just started drinking. I knew the bar I frequented opened at 10 a.m. All you can eat pizza on Fridays. It was just my life revolved around drinking. I remember one time waking up to 6 empty bottles of whiskey that had been just thrown around my room. And I was like, oh, this is getting out of hand. And I stopped drinking for a month, and then I started drinking again.
How did you finally get out of it?
I was homeless the second time.
Where was your son staying while you were
homeless? The first time my son stayed with his high school friend of his. His mom knew what was going on, and she said, Junior can stay with us for the time being. And of course I overstayed that welcome, but still there's nobody I'm more thankful for than that family. But so I slept in my car, came up to here. I came up to LA. I lived up here for 4 months, trying to make it, chasing the dream. And then in 2016, I was house sitting because that was a gig I got. I was house sitting, and I started to I woke up and reached for the empty bottle of Jim Beam, and my brain was like, I don't think you need that right now. And so I was like, all right, let me take a break. Let me take a break of drinking. And it was I remember it was half empty because I used half of it to go to sleep. And so I was about to use the other half to wake up. And so I didn't drink. And in that time I wasn't drinking. I met a buddy, and he was sober. going on 4 or 5 years, and he was like, "You want to come to a meeting with me?" And I went to a meeting, and I listened, and I was like, "I might have a drinking problem." And so I followed that, and and looked back, and I was like, "Yeah, I totally do." And I came to understand why I don't need to be drinking, and I stopped drinking, and it sucked because this was my second time with sobriety. The first time I was homeless, I just didn't want to be that guy who was drunk. So when I was homeless, I stopped drinking and told myself, when I get back indoors, I'll start drinking again.
That was the carrot at the end of the stick. I can be an alcoholic again once I have a door.
But and I did. I remember I got my place January 4th of 2015, and January 7th I was out drinking, and then by October, I lost my job. By October that year, I lost my job.
What were you doing?
I was in banking. I've been in banking for like years in processing underwriting.
Okay.
And I lost the job, and shortly after that, I was evicted again and back on the streets. And that's how 216 started. So then in August 2016, that's when I stopped drinking. And it was, but then I was like, okay, everything's gonna get better. Things did not get better, because what I had to do after I stopped drinking was face myself. And it was, I had to come face to face with the monster I had been afraid of the entire time. So it would be, a while before I was where I am now.
So you had therapy.
Ish.
Therapy's expensive. How'd you?
I had state provided therapy.
Okay.
Which was basically just listening and wide-eyed. Like, I stopped going to therapists because I'm tired of like somebody, holy shit, what? Like, I've had 9 therapists in my life.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know this happened, blah, blah, blah. So I just stopped going. My last therapist, so that one was
my biggest problem with therapists is that a lot of people that can afford schooling are privileged white women.
You just described like 7 of my 9 therapists.
And I fucking hate them. They're privileged white women who want to be voyeurs into the darkness of other people's lives.
Yeah,
and they do not understand it. And they are incredibly judgmental, even when they're not trying to be, because they don't have the empathy of experience.
Yeah.
So when you tell them something, they take it so much more dark and serious than it needs to be, because they've never lived a life like that. They don't understand. There's so much that they lack in understanding. And I get really tired of therapists and therapy for that reason. I think I've only had one therapist that I really liked, and that was my therapist when I was 16, and he's dope as fuck. Shout out to Jason. But like, for the most part, I tried to go to therapists here, and I was like, this is a waste of my time and money, and I don't like you. Like, I don't like you as a person. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't trust your opinion. Like, respect is something that you have to earn. And as a therapist, it's like, well, I have a degree. And it's like, yeah, but you're still a fucking idiot. Like, I don't. Anyways, that's my rant about therapy and therapists, and I don't like them.
No, yeah, I decided,
But go to therapy. It could really change your life.
Get help. That's always the.
You gotta shop around.
Yeah, I went to therapy because of the darkness. And
my friend that had a therapist ghost her. Like, she was my therapist, and she had something happen in her life, and she kept canceling our appointments, and she's like, I need to go to therapy. Like,
that's not a good therapist.
That's more damaging than just not being a fucking therapist. I'm sorry. I'm so mad. I also had a therapist that couldn't schedule. Like, she couldn't even manage her own life. She couldn't schedule me properly. She double booked me with someone. I'm like, why would I trust you?
Therapists are like churches. Some of them, there are some good ones out there. That they are. There are good. Like I said, I listened to a podcast, a church podcast. It's a great church, and if I was in that area, I would attend that church.
My therapist growing up was like a punk rock therapist. He's like a nihilist. Like, I fucking love him. He's super cool.
Yeah, just so like, I used to want to be a therapist, and I was like, I don't like talking to people. I'm a bad listener. So
I'm right here. No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so you kind of got therapy, state amended, and does the word love mean something different to you now?
Oh, absolutely.
What does it mean to you now?
Love means I can't even wrap my mind around it. I heard this one poet, San Diego poet, say, "Love seems awesome. I can't wait to fall into it." And I was like, "Yeah, that." You know, like it's someone. I don't believe in the unconditionality of it. Like everybody's like, "Oh, it's unconditional." I'm like, "Nah, I don't think it is." It's worth fighting for. It's worth changing for. Or it's not. Like if someone doesn't like something about me, like there's a lot of things about me. So like I'm single and I love my life right now. You know, I'm single. I have my own place. I do certain things. And part of me is like, do you really want to give this up by adding another person who's not going to like any of this stuff? And I'm like, ugh.
They should like that.
No, because there's probably going to be some things that they want to like. And my this probably isn't. Like, they're probably not. Like, I sleep with my dog in my bed. You know, that could be an issue. My socks never match. That could be an issue. So it's like what, you know, my love for her can be measured by my willing to change those things.
I have a thing that I'm trying to make a bit, and it's not yet, but I can always tell how much my guy friends actually like a girl is when they come to me and they're like, Andrea, I gotta not fuck this up. That's how I know that they like her. And if they don't say that, I don't need to remember her name.
And that's one thing, like, yeah.
Because she's gonna be gone.
Don't need to remember her name.
I don't. It's like, I'm not going to learn your name. Fucking, you're Stacy today. Like, I know that he doesn't care about you in the way that is going to make him be his best self with you.
See, okay, now see, that's it right there. You're talking about loving, and I'm approaching liking right now. Like,
with a person that you're seeing?
No, just with, like, I'm looking for someone to like. Love is after that. So it's like right now, like my pet, like I don't chase, you know, I make sure my intentions are clear. But if I smell a game, then I'm out, you know?
What's a game?
Let's maybe, not returning tax.
Okay.
Or if I call and I get the, hey, what's up? Text after I call and leave a message. You know, I'm like, I don't get, it might not be a game, but that might be the way the person is. And I'm just not into that. You know, I like, if I call you because I want to talk on the phone, I don't want to text, but there are other things. Like, I just don't like offering up my, peeves or whatever, because I don't, you know, I'm just like, it's mine. I'll keep it. But, yeah, there are some, like, I was talking to this one person who everything was like so passive, you know, it was just never, hey, do you want to do this on this date? It was always, we could hang out sometime. Yeah. It's like when are we gonna do this again? That. When are we gonna do this again? And I swear that's how it ended. She was like, when are we gonna do blah 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 again? I said, I don't know. And that was the last time I heard from her. Because she was basically telling me to plan something and I didn't want to. I wanted to know that she wanted to be involved. And so I said, I don't know, because I didn't know. And I haven't heard from her since. And this was all via text, so I'm happy. Like, I hate texting. I hate it so much that, like, I want my next chick to not have any thumbs. Like, that's how much I hate texting. That's funny. You should write that down. I did. I drove up here the whole time saying that. I'm going to make sure you say that. I don't know. I think some of the things you're talking about are things that are, like, the ways that people communicate and think that they're communicating is we're always trying to kind of be subtle with our regard, because we don't want to be, if people are too honest about liking someone, that leaves an opening for pain. Yeah, and you just got to leave that. I'm leaving that door open. Like, I came up to you. I don't do online dating. I came up to you and said, hi, my name's Adam. Can I get your number? Can we go out sometime? I took you out. So I'm opening the door for pain. I'm being very vulnerable. Yeah. You know? So if I don't see that return, I'm out. Because I'm not going to chase. I'm not going to prove to someone I'm safe. And that's what a lot of women now, especially in my age, because I date my age bracket. I'm 44. What do you mean prove that you're safe? That's what women want. They want you to prove that you're trustworthy before they trust you. Well, the people, I'm not going to gender. Don't you think everyone feels that way, though? Don't you think that everyone is like... You can't possibly prove to me that you're trustworthy. No one can. I have to trust you until you show me that you can't. Or if especially if you're meeting a stranger, right? And I'm not saying don't give her your ATM card right away,
Well, yeah, that's what I mean is like, don't you think trust is something that just takes time to build?
Okay, go back to what you were talking about with people are just looking, they're just trying to stop from being hurt. Okay. Yeah. I get that, but don't let that mean that you don't text someone hello or call someone and say hello. Don't let that stop you from doing what you want to do. Because when I first started, I wanted to be that guy who was like, oh, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm only going to do this. And then I told myself, come on, you're just going to end up right back where you were. Well, do what you want to do.
Yeah. If you
take the risk, be vulnerable.
But also be honest about how you actually feel and don't try to fit yourself into like, well, I should feel like this. That's
I don't understand.
Also a trap. You know, when you're like, oh, this girl's pretty and they're nice to me and I do like her in this way. You know, like there's something that people can do sometimes where they build up the regard as being bigger.
Yeah, you go from liking to falling in love.
Yeah.
Like take that journey. I used to just go to falling in love. Like there was just it wasn't a journey. It was like foot on the gas. And that's why I know the snail is my spirit animal, because of how I lived my life and how much destruction that caused. It's like if I slowed down.
Just take it easy, bruh.
Yeah, if I slowed down and I just took it easy, then it would be a lot better. It would be a lot easier, you know? But yeah, so what I'm saying, like, if I see someone who's overprotecting, like, okay, I can't, nothing I do is going to
make you feel good about me.
Make her relax. Mm-hmm. And if I do something grand, we're going to have to do that grand thing all the time.
Well, I think
I'm going to die alone, aren't I?
No.
Okay. The first person to ever tell me no.
We all do. It's fine. I think that there's this weird idea about relationships is that men are supposed to make these gigantic gestures of love or romance or whatever to women to prove a thing. But for me,
I'll do grand things, but it won't be to prove anything. It'll be because I want her to feel loved. Like I firmly believe women want to feel loved, safe, and pretty.
That's what everyone wants.
Right. And so I will do things to make a woman feel loved, feel safe, feel pretty, but I will not do any, like safe, I'll do it like, so she knows she's like not in any danger. So she knows that I can protect her if anything goes down. You know, safe is a weird thing to try and make someone else feel, but I'm not going to make her feel safe from me. I'm not going to try and prove that I'm not a bad guy. I'm going to be who I am, and she has to decide, is that someone she's going to trust? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's just kind of like, at some point, you can't prove anything to anyone. They're going to believe about you what they want.
Exactly.
So no matter what you say or do, like. But
you say that, but you understand that people still try and get you to prove.
I almost married someone, and we were together for like 5 years, and I never asked him. I rarely ever got jealous. I was pretty chill about a lot of stuff. And I never asked him to prove that he was with just me. Mm-hmm. He just was like, I'm with you. And I said, okay. And then I found out later that he wasn't like that he was contacting other people. Yeah. And he was being shady behind my back. And I trusted him, but the relationship wouldn't have been better for me not trusting him.
No, I'm not saying don't trust. Like I one thing I say now is like I have the trust issues now. The trust issues I have now are because I didn't have any trust issues before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're like, well, now I got to be a little vigilant.
No, I'm talking about
the burden of the next person I'm with is like, sorry, man, this happened.
Oh yeah. See, I'm not putting that, like, I've been hurt. I've fallen for stuff. And that burden, I'm not putting it on the next person.
It's really hard not to. And you have to do some mental gymnastics to be like, that was them and you're a different person.
Right. No, so do those.
It's okay.
Do that.
But yeah,
because it's worth it.
But I think that.
But if that person is, because if that person is, then like I was on a date with this one chick and I was telling her about my podcast. And she said, oh, one day I might care enough to listen to it. Verbatim. And I thought to myself,
that's honest.
I thought to myself, I'm never going to see this chick again.
What?
Because like I don't want any. She just established a hurdle from a goal for me. She just tried to do that, and that's the type I was. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to have any. Like if it's the other way around, she has a podcast. I'm going to say, hey, what is the name of it? Let me check it out. I love podcasts. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, well, one day I might like you enough, and I'll listen to it. what? And I never spoke to that chick again.
Okay.
Like that, I mean, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like the old me would have said, oh, what do I need to do to get you to blah, blah. And now it's just, oh, I heard that and I'm going to process that. And survey says, get the fuck out of my car. So I didn't say get out of my car, but we went to her house and that was the last time I saw her. I want somebody to like me for me. And liking people, you are taking a risk. You are risking your feelings. You are risking your emotions. You are taking a risk when you like someone. But hey, do it because that risk might pay off. Yeah. You know, I don't have any proof that it'll pay off. I hope that one day it does. And if it does, yay for me. But if it doesn't, hey, pat myself on the back because I took a risk and I tried. You know, that's how I see it.
I think that's a good way to be, though.
I like it.
I don't know. I think you got to ease up on some of these gals, though.
It's not that many, but I'm good.
I will say there's something to be said with if someone is treating you in a way where you feel like they're playing a game with you.
That's
it's to be honest with them about like, hey, you've done this to me. Like, I'm not into that. If this keeps moving forward, don't do that.
And see, that's what I was saying earlier is like, my personality is to recognize something. Like, I don't want the skunk to spray me. I see the stripe on its back. So I'm just going to get the fuck away from it before I get sprayed. I'm not going to say, hey, Mr. Skunk, are you really a skunk?
But do you think that every person...
I'm not going to listen to I'm going to listen to the rattle of the snake. I'm not going to go, hey, rattlesnake, do you really bite and kill? I'm just going to walk away from it. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying this is my behavior.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I know because I'm right.
Well,
I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I genuinely don't. I know that I want to date a black woman. Okay.
Okay.
And I live in Point Loma, Ocean Beach, California, where I think there are 4. So,
you better round them up.
No, exactly. But so, I mean, I have all these wants and all these ideas in my life.
Why are you so specific about wanting to date a black woman? What is it about? Cultural.
You know, it's like I'm a black person. I'm a black man. And I would like to date a black woman.
Did you feel like your white wife,
in hindsight,
understand?
Totally. In hindsight, totally.
That a lot of the disconnect between your relationship was you not feeling like she understood your experience?
In our marriage, like, I hated going over her mother's house. She hated going over my family's house. And it was for the exact same reasons. When we went over her mother's house for events, it was quiet. We played board games. The TV didn't come on. When we went over my house, my family's house, she said that everybody yells. It's very uncomfortable. And I'm like, we're not fighting. We're just speaking loudly. You know, it's not just that, but it's also that disconnect. But I say that to say I'm not just dating black women. Like, I date anybody. It's like I want a bike. I hope I get whatever awesome bike it is. But if I get another bike, that's awesome. I have a bike, you know? But it's
It'll still get you where you need to go. And by that,
kinda.
I mean love?
See, like, I have all these, this is what I'm trying to say. I have all these pictures of what I want. But I also have to be willing to know that I might not know what I want. The universe, God.
I mean, in some ways, expectation is really just the surest way to be disappointed.
Yeah, so don't lean on it.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, be honest. Write stuff down in pencil that can be erased. You know?
For sure.
Like that's it. Don't go hard and fast in one direction. You'll end up running into a wall. So,
or with some terrible songs. Sorry, One Direction. I apologize.
I wish I knew some One Direction songs. I would sing them right now.
I don't know either. Sorry. Harry Styles? I don't know. That also sounds problematic now that I think about it. Anyway, I guess what I'm asking or what I'm thinking is that, like, I definitely went out on dates with people where I was like, I just kind of knew right away, like, this isn't for me, you know? And I think it's okay to say no, and it's empowering, and it feels good to say I'm not into you, and that's okay, and it's fine. You don't have to like everyone.
That's what I'm saying, and we don't go out again.
That's cool.
Yeah,
but also, like, if the reason you don't like them is an actual reason, or is that a misunderstanding with how you're interpreting an act? You know what I mean? Because sometimes I think that you can ascribe an attribute to someone. Like, you read too much into a thing and then you're like, but sometimes that is real. You know what I mean? It's like there's one of my favorite Instagram handles. It's called Words for Good Boys. And it is men's excuses for why they didn't text you back or like why they didn't meet up with you. And one was literally, I've been whittling all day, kind of worn out, probably won't be able to hang tonight. Sad face. Like, just don't try to. What are you doing next week? Like, no, dude, I'm not gonna make plans. Like, I don't want to hang out with you. You just gave me the worst excuse.
And that's one thing women have taught me is like, don't throw a general time period out there. Hey, are you free tonight? Would you like to do blank tonight? Like,
that's what I like.
I'm very, I am what I want them to be. So like
direct.
Yeah, direct. Yeah.
Concise,
so right, exactly.
Plan ahead.
Yeah. So if someone is not reliable, if someone's not that, then I am not going to. I don't want to be that for someone who's not willing to be that.
I made plans with this dude. This is before I was dating Mondo, and
this was last week. Be honest.
This was 1 week ago. No, this is before I was dating Mondo. As I was like kind of trying to do this online thing, and there's this app called The League. It's a dating app. It sucks. It's fine. But I met up with this dude and we're like talking back and forth and he seemed cool and I was like roasting him, which is like what I love to do on dating apps. Mm-hmm. It's very funny. And he was like, okay, let's make plans for tomorrow. I was like, cool. And then we made plans for like 6 p.m. And then he texts me an hour before the date and he's like, oh, hey, traffic. I was in this meeting, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be an hour late. And I was like, okay, this is what it was. He made plans for 8. Well, now it's 9 o'clock. And like,
that's a strike. Like that's not a deal breaker for me. Punctuality is not a deal breaker for me, but it is definitely a strike.
You knew you had plans. Yeah. You knew you had a meeting, quote unquote, whatever it was you were doing before this. You knew that was a thing you were going to do today. So if you don't have the planning ability to look on Google Maps and say a meeting's going to last this long, it takes X, Y, blah, blah, blah for me to be here on time. Let's plan for later because I have this thing. Now you're someone that's wasting my time and I'm annoyed. So I was annoyed, but I was like, fine, I'll go to this date.
But it was a strike, right?
It was a strike.
Exactly.
But I go to the date and I get there and he's like, hey, traffic, going to be another 30 minutes. Strike and I just texted him back and I was like, no, I'm leaving.
Exactly.
And I went and I did an open mic and it was a great time.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
And then he's like blowing up my phone. He's calling. I was like, I don't even know you. I've never met you before. I just know you're rude.
That's exactly what
And now you're upset because you treated me shitty and I put my foot down about it.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't want to hang out with you. You don't value my time. Like, yeah, you suck, man.
See, you just, exactly. That's how you do it. But the old me would have been, oh, I'm sorry. Because in my head, my inner voice was, who are you to? You just be thankful that they're gonna try. Like who are you? Who are you to stand up for? Who are you to stand up for? But now I'm like, okay, look,
come on, man.
This isn't for me. I deserve better. Like for the first time in my life, first time in my 44 years, I'm saying I deserve better.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and that's really how it works.
44, my dude.
Yep.
Damn.
Halfway to dying alone.
Yay! That's a great place to end the podcast. Do you want to? My last question is usually, what scares you about being in a relationship right now, and what are you kind of doing to circumvent those fears?
Selling myself out.
Okay.
Like that's really what I don't want to do. I will gladly. Do
you have love tattooed on your hand?
No, that's okay.
Are we on a love podcast? And I just noticed you have love tattooed on your hand?
Okay, on the right middle finger, I have love is ... On the left middle finger, I have Matthew 11:12. So it's saying
love is patient, love is kind.
No, that's Corinthians. Matthew 11:12 says the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. So it's basically my way of saying love is hard. That relationship, that 2015 relationship. After I got out of that one, I ran to the tattoo parlor and said, I want love is on this finger, and I want Matthew 11:12 on this middle finger.
You tattooed a Bible verse on your middle finger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's how I see love. Honestly, like I regret getting these are of all the tattoos I have. I do wish I put more thought into this one, but
love should not beat you up.
No, it's not. It shouldn't beat you up, but it is going to be hard. Like love is not easy. Like because, like I said, you have to make adjustments.
I think
you have to make adjustments. You have to be vulnerable. there are a lot of things that are scary about love in order to achieve love. And that's how I see love. You asked me earlier, what is love? Love is freaking hard. And because you have to love yourself. You can't put yourself on anybody's altar, which is something I always did.
You can't put yourself there and you can't put anyone else there. You can't put other people on an altar.
No, I don't. I didn't say I was. I said my problem was putting myself, martyring myself, sacrificing myself for that other person, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how I see love. So one of my fears is, will I sell myself out to get into a relationship? Like right now I'm lonely because I'm, single. But for the first time in my life, I realized that doesn't mean I'm unhappy. Like if I fuck around and get with the wrong person, I will go from being lonely to being miserable.
Oh yeah, it's way worse.
Yeah,
than being alone.
Be lonely and patient. Like don't get them confused. Don't be lonely and desperate. Oh, that's a recipe for destruction.
Well, it's the most unattractive quality. It's nothing is like if your DM is just like a thirst, like you can feel the saliva in the message. You're just like, I don't want to talk to this person. This is a lot.
Yeah, that's why. And again, that's why that's why I don't do the dating apps. If I see someone or if I'm conversating with someone, then I pursue
you're like,
that.
I feel
exactly. Or if I see someone, like in a approachable environment, grocery store, park, places outside her door.
Sure.
No, but like not in like places like I don't hit on women at the gym.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there are places where I'm like, okay, they're not here to be hit on. But but I just approach, so that the intent can be laid out right from the beginning.
For sure.
Yeah, and then there's no surprise. And plus I can't describe this. I joke on stage is like I tried writing the bio for myself in like dating apps, and it always comes off like I'm trying to sell a certified used pre-owned Negro. So like
yikes.
I just I don't want to do it.
Let's get out of here. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Please do all that you can to find me with the handle Adam Connie Sr. That's Adam Connie SR. If you want more after doing that, Instagram is my favorite thing. I'm about to start Instagram TV.
I like
I'm about
Instagram.
to start. I'm launching my web series on Instagram TV.
I hate the Instagram. Listen up. If anyone of my 100 listeners works for Instagram, here's the deal. Get the TV out of the stories area, because I don't want to accidentally watch someone's 3-hour tirade on what shoes they bought.
It can't be more than 15 minutes.
I don't care. I don't like it. Get it out of there.
Okay,
stories, and then if I want to watch your shitty TV, I will. But I don't want to be a part of it. If I don't like you. Okay,
did you notice how I was just happy about something and she shit all over the thing that I was just happy to I was like, I'm excited to be doing this. You're like, that thing you're about to do sucks on. Well, you can also find it on YouTube.
Okay. I will go to YouTube because that is made for videos.
Yeah.
But
Instagram, I mean,
take it easy.
That's where people are, so I got to put it there. My web series fully staffed. Go to my website, Adam Connie Sr. That's AdamConnieSR.com. And I also write for the uncomfortable.net, where I write stuff where it makes people uncomfortable, but it makes them think, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Fuck your feelings. Like we're in society too. Like that's where we are right now, where we're listening with our feelings, and I think we all need to stop. Like it's just happening way too much. You're not listening with any common sense or what's the other word? Any common sense or intelligence. You're listening with your feelings. So if something makes you feel uncomfortable, you react to that feeling that you have inside yourself.
Yeah, but those are the feelings worth exploring.
Yeah, but don't react with them. Don't react with those are the yeah, I don't do it, so I can't give you an example because I don't know how to do it. I react and respond. But I used to react. Why? Like you would ask me something, I would feel I used to see questions as like attacks.
Oh, yeah.
Like any question, like I felt like the person was attacking me.
Yep.
And now it's just like, oh no, they just want to answer that question.
Information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
this is an exchange.
Yeah.
There's no judgment necessarily behind.
Emotionally, I feel like I'm a healthy 23-year-old now. Like I feel like I am emotionally where I should have been if I was raised healthily at 23.
That's honest.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because like I said, Arrested Development ended. I started to grow out of my Arrested Development probably around 32. So 12 years ago. Add that to 13. So I'm probably about 25 right now.
Okay.
So that's how I look at it. We probably should have ended the podcast before I said that stupid shit.
So that's all the places. Wait, Adam Connie Sr. on everything?
Yeah. Yep. Facebook and YouTube is I am Adam Connie.
Okay.
Other than that, Adam Connie Sr. That's how to find me.
Okay.
Instagram is my favorite thing.
Me too. Hey,
and
guys.
my podcast, The Adamant Podcast. That's on iTunes, The Adamant Podcast.
Adamant?
You and your man are coming on in November.
November 3rd.
November 3rd, yeah. So The Adamant Podcast, it comes out twice a week with the guest on Sunday and then a rant on Wednesday. And Ross.
Is that all the things you have?
I have so
How many
much.
side hustles do you have? It's 1,000? What do you
I have a lot. I do I love writing and I love producing. So if I do music,
James Franco of podcasting over here.
James Franco just acts and touches young women. What else does he do?
He's a painter? I didn't realize. Oh yeah, I forgot about. Man, everybody.
He slid through. He slid through that Me Too. Like he slid through that like a champ. Nobody said anything. Like everybody said everything about everybody else, rightfully so, but except him. I was like pointing at him, like, what about that guy? Remember that thing he did?
I'm like, but he's cute though.
Exactly. Exactly.
Touché.
Exactly.
Sorry, Harvey and Louie. Y'all are ugly as fuck. Guys, if you if you like this podcast, you can email me at AndreaLovesEverybody@gmail.com. Follow us at Andrea Loves Everybody on Instagram, Andrea Loves Pod on Twitter. Here's the thing.
And I totally vouch. Andrea does love everybody. She's an awesome person. And I was a skeptic. I was like, there's no way she can love everybody, but she absolutely does. So love her back.
But in a way where your hands don't touch me.
See, there you go. You made it weird. You made it weird. You Adam the situation, as I like to say. You Adam that compliment.
Yeah, follow me on all the things at Sundress Comic if you want to know where I'm going to go do stand-up or...
Oh, and a lovely sundress today?
Where the people I'm going to love... Yeah, I am wearing a sundress
I used to be the sundress comic until you came along.
Yeah, we had to actually fight almost to the death for the sundresses, but...
She won.
Yeah, I did.
I went, now I'm just Adam.
Love you guys. Bye.